What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Another edition of Holy Try Football Podcast. But it's the first edition of a actual week preview. Week one is upon us. Week zero behind us. I know the countdown led us there. But we got into game week, back into the routine. And game week comes a little early for most of us this week, at least in the pod. That's exciting for some. Uh, the real game of the year is next week already, but let's not skip too far ahead. We have business to attend to. Two, three big games across the pod, two on Thursday. We will get into all week one. To me, AY coming to you from the beautiful state capital, the Blue State, Commonwealth, Pennsylvania. To my west, Eberg, what's up?
Behind enemy lines, doing some advanced scouting in Columbus ahead of the matchup of Titans and potentially future conference foes. So excited about that matchup. Not excited to be in Columbus at the moment. We'll be back in Columbus on Saturday as I continue the barnstorming tour throughout the Rust Belt.
Oh, yeah.
Ken, to my east for now before he heads west.
Oh, yeah. Very excited. Very excited. I don't know if I've been this excited about a kickoff for a season in a long, long time, but I feel like I say that every year. So
I was just about to point that out, yeah.
The weather, very muggy right now. You got a little rain coming through, washing out maybe the last bit of summer, but it should be pretty warm. I'm looking forward to a great Labor Day weekend filled with college football.
I look forward to maybe getting a photo of you in front of the big drum. We'll see.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be fun. Ken will be out in Ross Aid. Dan will be at the Horseshoe. And I will be
as well as the AC.
I don't know where I'll be. I'll be in Bloomsburg. Where's that? I haven't made it to the home front in a while. So
the Huskies opening up this weekend.
Oh, I don't know. I'll check the schedule. If they are, I'm sure Hergen will go with me. He's always down to go. He's always down to go to Redmond Stadium.
The Hornets' Nest.
You don't just walk in there. I'll tell you that.
You don't just walk in.
Although
they are home for Stonehill College. There you go.
All right.
Who's Danny Hale? Danny Hale Field at Redmond Stadium.
Oh, longtime coach. Check his record out. I bet he has 300 wins.
Wow.
A lot of wins.
300 forever.
Maybe not that many.
300 forever.
Usually we jump into news and notes here, but
173.
173. That's a lot. I thought it was more. News and notes this week. Nothing really. There's plenty of news out there. We have an all off season of news and notes. But as far as this game week, you heard the chatter of South Carolina and the new mascot naming.
The cock.
Rattler the Rat. Confused by what the name was. He thought it was the CC. It was the general. Elsewhere. Nebraska Frost already getting questions about.
Oh my God! So you guys, he's not making it through the season, right?
Frost, no. I know. I sat on here a week or two ago and said,
yeah,
they're winning the West. Yeah, that.
I
can jump off the train immediately because they lost Northwestern. This thing's derailed. They should have left him in the U freaking K.
Embarrassing.
The incredible stats that are coming out of this latest debacle. This is the seventh straight loss that they've had, all by single digits. It's a record. Saw something about his record and Pelini's record.
That was the most damning one to me.
Yeah,
are you kidding me?
He could win the next 50 games in a row and still have a worse record than Pelini. It's amazing. But it's baffling to watch because they look pretty good, and then they just make, well, not just them, but like the coaches make bonehead decisions, the players make bonehead decisions, and they just continue. They squander 2 double-digit leads in one in each half. I don't know. It's he's got to be done, right? But he was their savior. Where do they go to? Arander? They got to go to Arander probably. Somebody like an Arander.
Is that not a big downgrade for him?
No, I think Arander's an upgrade probably.
No, I'm saying from
Baylor.
Yeah, from Baylor.
It's true. It's true. I mean,
Sure, it doesn't carry the same cachet, but look at
No.
recent history. Like, I mean, what have you done for me lately? Baylor the last 5
Way
8
more.
years is done
Way
way more than Nebraska.
Baylor's going on a decade with 2 different
three
impressive
different
runs.
coaches. 3 different coaches with impressive runs.
Yeah, I'm saying impressive runs. Yeah,
If you count, Aranda on a run right now with one good year.
well, I would still mesh that with Rule's run
Okay,
because
so
it was
you
really only
combine-
one bad year. Yeah,
I mean, I think there's one obvious choice out there.
Craig Bowl.
Climate.
You know, he used to be quarterback for
Urban.
Oh,
Murder!
Eli,
Bring him home.
that would be awesome.
I don't know
Oh
if they
my
can
gosh,
bring
that
another
would be
option
awesome.
quarterback.
That would be
They
more
can stop
awesome
him.
than him kicking an onside kick up double digits in Ireland.
If they bring Turner Gill home, I'm getting a polo shirt. Nice red one with a thick collar. I'm gonna wear it.
That'd be phenomenal.
Hey, who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I mean, does he make it all year?
Well, I think it's October 4th. His contract, his buyout becomes like next to nothing or something like that.
The due diligence has already been done.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's like the week. Isn't Oklahoma the week prior?
Something like, no, it's
No,
Indiana
2 weeks prior.
week prior. Indiana is the week prior, I think. They say if he's 3-2, he was likely with the other lost to Oklahoma. He's likely safe for the remainder of the year while they buy
3-2.
time.
He's won 3 games the last year plus.
If he loses to Indiana, he's done. If he's 2-3 coming out of that stretch before that October 4th, he may be done. He still may be done with 3-2.
What if they lose to South Dakota this weekend?
Oh my gosh, they're playing the North Dakota,
No, North Dakota.
which would be even worse.
Yeah.
Not even the state, just North Dakota.
But North Dakota was in the championship game recently, weren't they?
I don't care. No, it doesn't even. I don't care.
So what do you think it takes for him to save his job? Winning the Big
He's gonna have
Ten
to go on
West?
a run. He's gonna have to go probably win 9 games somehow.
I think at the very least, if you don't go bowling, then you can just fire yourself.
Bowling, I think, is bowling. He still may be gone. 6-6, he may be gone. 7-5, he may be gone. I mean, depending on what the 8 wins are, he may be able to save himself.
Yeah, I think you would have to get one of at least
Oklahoma, Michigan, and I forget who else.
Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I don't know how much beating Iowa will do for him this year, but that's on the road.
And like, what's up with his face this year? It's just his face. Like this year, it's just itself is more like.
Clemens.
Yeah.
He is Clemens.
Good Clemens. He's getting fatter like Clemens, bigger like
Yep.
Clemens. Oh man! Any other ruminations from week 1?
Week 0.
Vandy dropped that
week
anchor.
0. I'm sorry, week 0.
They dropped
Yeah,
the
I said-
anchor on Hawaii.
I started dying whenever I woke up and saw that final after falling asleep at halftime. I woke up and was just laughing out loud to myself. I was like, how the heck did they get to 63? But good for them.
Good for them. Clark Lee, coach of the week, next to Fitzgerald. Mac took a little bit to get going.
Yeah.
The cons hanging tough. Mora was thinking playoffs for a little. Playoffs. Mora was thinking for a little bit. He was going. They easily covered, though. Easily covered. They 28, 27 and a half. Bert took care of business. YO in dire straits. These days.
Jeez, oh my gosh, yeah, that looked like it was shaping up to be another classic, 19-14 Wyoming game, but whew,
Yeah, this
Bert turned it on and put down the clamps on
This
defense.
is a pretty bad Wild team. We'll be a lot of Wild this year, but we'll be back next year.
Yeah,
We're back.
still have to pick their game every week, though, right?
Still have to. We're loyal.
Cam would love not to. He would finally be happy if we banished Wild from the weekly slate.
I am pretty fired up how we rode Wyo pre
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, and now just the other day in my, all across the nation, I'm sitting. I was sitting there at a fantasy draft, and Josh Allen went like beginning of the third round. I'm just like, you know what? He's from Wyoming. It felt good.
Always repping.
He's amazing. He's an amazing quarterback, and he rides.
I'm just looking. I thought they had an FCS game this week. They play Tulsa, so do we want to strike them from the Can we put them on the shelf for a year?
I think you got to put them on the Tulsa. Put them on.
I mean, we'll give him this game to get right.
It's like what's
game to game.
It's like Slippery Rock in Michigan. What's the relationship there again? And what do they do? They play there. They always put the score of the Slippery Rock.
I think Bo Schembechler.
Yeah.
But
they always put the Slippery Rock score up at halftime or something like that.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing they do for sure. And friend of the pod, ZP, Coach Zach Patterson, coached at the Big House when Slippery Rock played somebody there in the mid-2010s.
Right.
We didn't really talk about I'll just do a few minutes. No, I'm just kidding. No, but we didn't talk about much about the realignment. We hinted at it. It obviously, I know for me, diminished my enthusiasm to do a conference-by-conference even preview. I'll say this. I speak for probably a certain sliver of college football fan bases, rather. If they make it from, as I said this before, not on the air though, if they make it so that Pitt goes from having a 1% probability to win the national championship to 0 by making them essentially a MAC team, I'm out. I just want to declare that before. I don't want to throw, shade on the whole season, but I did want to put that in on the recording.
Dan making it known.
Yeah. And I think I speak with Washington State fans and fan bases like that. That because they don't have a ton of corn-fed diabetics watching the games, that they're going to then be ousted and they don't want to be cut. The bigger TV markets and schools don't want to have the cut them in on their TV revenue sharing. If that happens, I'm out. Because that's all it is. Just to reinforce what's been made 15 different times on 15 different outlets. Thank you.
Look, I hear you, and I don't blame you. I do think Pitt is in a better – I know it's an example, but Pitt is in a better position than Wazoo is.
Yeah, but I still think that it'd be redundant to have Pitt cut into the TV market because they have Penn State and, West Virginia, I would think, would be in the same boat, potentially. They kind of already have had it tougher than Pitt has for the last, 7 or 8 years.
12, yeah.
So I think that's if they are completely left out. I have always maintained that they need somebody to play the games against at least. So why would you not have Pitt's, West Virginia's, Wazoo's, Cal will probably be in there, but Arizona
Purdue,
State, somebody like
Purdue,
that. Well, Purdue's in. I think Purdue's in already in the Big Ten, so they're safe
for now.
Yeah, for now, there is. I guess there's that possibility. Now, it would be hilarious if they kicked out Rutgers. I will say, and Vandy. If they got the soft shoe, that would be funny to watch. But no, yeah, just wanted to put that on as the tape was rolling.
Sir, we'll see where. We'll see where all this goes. I think the dust should settle for a little bit now with these TV deals. But
yeah,
perhaps renegotiation. Who knows what kind of fees you can get out of these. But you got that on record, and we can talk about actual games this week if you would like to.
Let's do it.
Do they still do that?
The drum and fife?
Yeah.
I don't know. That was all previews that I listened to.
You're right.
Yeah.
So they did not cover the Pat League in the previews that I listened to.
Hey Ken, are you stopping by Aren't they doing a live show this week?
Oh, in New York, I'm not there.
No, I thought it's in Chicago this
Oh,
weekend.
in Chicago, you're right.
I think it was Saturday. It was this past Saturday.
Oh, it was, yeah.
Right,
I saw I don't know how I saw that because I don't follow. It must just popped up somewhere. But yeah, I did see that. They had a nice pose. They're squatting down.
Mm-hmm.
We should get a pose. We'll get one. But yeah, some games this week. Like we discussed in our private chat, sneaky, not great. Objectively, if you dig in like one layer, it's not great. Just because.
But this is great for opening week. We've talked about this before. Would you rather have an enormous opening weekend when you're already excited about college football being back, or a mediocre one and spreading the love over the next couple of weeks, games-wise?
I think, and I'm not impacted because I'll likely be driving to Columbus during it. I think this noon slate is an abomination.
It would have been nice to give us something.
Like anything. Like, say, Pitt, West Virginia. Okay, I'm done.
Wow.
Just kidding, kind of, but not really. But no, yeah, I think that's definitely there has to almost always be one noon game
that's worth watching.
That's better than Boston College Rutgers or NC State East Carolina. I mean, that's what we're working with. Those are the depths.
It's not good.
No.
What would you have been doing the double dip? If
the Pitt game was at noon, absolutely.
Yeah.
That was 1.0 of my plan.
That would be sick.
That would be sick. North Carolina, App State could be interesting.
I saw that. It's basically even.
Yeah, it could be. We're not picking it.
No. Okay. I have no interest in it. First Bob night of the year, I will say. I have no interest in that game.
What about UConn Central Connecticut?
Maybe more so.
The battle for Connecticut.
Can Mora win by 30?
The true uncivil conflict. All right.
If my computer would actually load this.
First game we're picking?
I was going to do a quick little hot route, not change it up, just adjust one little thing.
You want to add Ohio in there?
Well,
Can I talk about my NC State East Carolina pick while you're doing that? Or do you want to bring something else into the fore before I do that?
For the first game we're gonna pick it's gonna be a late edition, and it's a 12 o'clock kickoff on the ACC network. Gers at BC.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, nice. You had to get it in there.
BC's laying.
I am wholly unprepared.
Are you adding it in?
Where should we go here?
Gers took care of an ACC foe last year.
They did
on the road as well, I believe.
Yeah, I believe it. The Q's,
not the some type of a dome.
It's whatever it is formerly known as the Carrier Dome.
Yeah.
So, no, I gotta take the points. I gotta respect the Gers, respect the chop, whatever the
clop.
The clop. Yeah, I retweeted that the other day. That was funny how they cut off the H in the graphic. Yes. Who is their quarterback this year, though? Is it still?
I think it's Noah Vedral, and then
Vedral.
The Vedral. I think they're gonna be putting in some Gavin. I want to say Gavin Newsom, but I forget what the guy's name is.
Not the Gavin.
Gavin Wimsatt. Sorry.
There you go. Not that it really matters that much. Not that I don't know the last time. When was Gers a quarterback-led team? It's been quite a while.
The Savage. No,
that year. No, Turnova, but Turnova was Turnova.
He led him for 4 years in a row. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was also Turnova, so I don't know how to classify him as a leader of that offense. And then the big thing is
4 years.
Jurkovic missed a lot of time last year, and has some NFL buzz. Obviously, he's got
his throwing motion is gross.
Yeah, So it's gonna be interesting. But no, I'm taking the points with Gers to keep it close-ish, and then I wouldn't be stunned if they beat him.
I'm a Halfley guy. I'm laying the points, and I will. I like Jurkovic will be back. It's pretty good, and I think their defense will be pretty good. Halfley got a well-coached team there. I thought they had some momentum there at the end. I'll take Boston College here by 10, 31-21. Actually, they won't score that many points. Maybe more than that, 31-14.
All right. Shout out Zay Flowers also on that team.
Yeah.
Still doing it for the BC Eagles.
Is he?
Yeah.
I thought I'd seen he's transferring or something, but yeah, it looks like he is still there.
I mean, I'm sure he flirted with transferring.
I think he may have tried. Oh yeah, I think he tried, and then he reiterated that he is staying. He's staying. He's not going anywhere.
All he did was explore his options.
Yeah.
Above board.
Above board. Okay. Now to the original start of the slate.
Well, who's AY's pick?
Oh, that's right.
I'm going BC. If Can's got his pulse on Gers, if he's saying possible 31-14, I'm not stepping in front of
that.
And then we are recording right on here.
Yeah,
right
just log it in there.
Some new breaking the fourth wall, new stenography for this year.
Right there in the sheet, we're good to go. But yeah, now to the original.
Well, I'm glad I didn't make the graphic, by the way. Why we would have already had to take it down. The graphic with our slate of games in the bottom right.
Oh yeah, it's true. I'll be more locked in.
I was messing with it during my. I also failed to mention two-time COVID survivor, and was definitely doing some experimentation.
Oh yeah.
With the StreamYard features.
We'll be debuting those shortly.
Yeah.
The original opening kickoff for us, the nooner, NC State, all the hype surrounding them.
One of the two battles for Carolina this week, I believe.
It's true. The other one's Boone, Chapel Hill. This one is Raleigh versus Greenville.
Yep.
ECU catching 11.5 with our boy Holton Ahlers-Annis at the helm.
And do you believe in all the hype, the top 15 hype with NC State here? If they're as good as if they're who we thought they were, this 11.5 shouldn't be an issue, right?
Probably not. No. I still like the points, even despite having almost all the bells and whistles back. And, of course, led by Dennis Leary.
The Leary.
Devin Leary.
Dennis Leary, yes.
But I like Anus. You know that I've had AY uncovered the soft spot for Holton Anus initially.
Oh my God. Uncovering the soft spot of the anus. That's good.
Yeah. And I've followed, and it's worked out sometimes. Sometimes it hasn't. It's been a little bit up and down. Probably more than you'd like for I think this is Mike Houston's 4th season down there, maybe his 5th season. Like him to keep it close to some good history in Raleigh v. Greenville, where Greenville, I was told, better football town than Pittsburgh.
Oh.
It's still unclear whether that meant college football town or either way. I'm taking
maybe high school football town.
Maybe high school football town. Who could say?
Maybe Pop Warner High School program.
Of the 3 options on the table, I would say, maybe they're a bigger high school football town than Pittsburgh is.
Which is not to be confused with Whippeal. You're talking strictly inner city Brashear football, or
yes, correct.
Football.
Yeah.
Or,
exactly. Yeah.
Or Perry football.
But yeah, you're right, Ken. If NC State is all it's cracked up to be, they should probably squash them pretty good, I would think.
I'm going 21 point win.
To the tune of a double cover, potentially.
Yep. I'm going 3-touchdown win for NC State for the back.
Yeah. I'm with Ken again here. I'm going to give NC State the benefit of the doubt. I believe they are pretty legit, and I want to back them this week and let them know that I'm behind them. Now, if my boy Holton takes it to him, makes it close, so be it, and I'll back off a little bit. But yeah, week 1, get all off season, NC State, all this hype, everyone back. Take care of business week 1.
Take care of business.
Let's start it. So yeah, I got we'll say 17. Oregon, Georgia, in Atlanta, 3:30.
This is an interesting one.
You called your shot on this one already, didn't you, AY?
Yeah, I got Oregon for sure. I got Oregon maybe leading at halftime. Georgia wins by 7 to 10 at most. Yeah, I think Oregon's really gonna hang in there, and make this thing interesting. If Oregon wins this game, I'd be a little surprised. Atlanta, Georgia's defending champion, but they lose a lot, man. They have a lot of talent still, obviously, but yeah, look at the Oregon defense, and first half under is the play for sure.
Love it.
This has sense. Oh, go ahead, Ken. Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Did I get the very first word in? Barely?
The second one.
Okay. This does have sense of a 40-3 game whenever I'm thinking more and more about Bo Nix in a completely different system, new coach. It could just be the squashing that I just mentioned is entirely possible in the NC State East Carolina game. But I'm going to grab the points just in case. I like AY's conviction, and that has swayed me. Because I could also see what he described. Maybe I would be a little bit surprised if Oregon was up at any point in this game. However, if the what are they calling the mailman? Right? No, who they call the mailman? Quarterback.
Oh,
I don't know.
I think it was Stetson Bennett.
Stetson Bennett, yeah, that's what I thought.
I think it, unless I'm thinking of some other small.
What a quarterback matchup too. Bo Nix v. Stetson Bennett. Yeah, just in case though, I'll take the points. I'm erring on the side of caution, especially after last week. I mean, till Vandy, did every underdog cover just about? I'll stick with that trend early on, I suppose.
He is the mailman. Stetson is the mailman.
Stetson is the mailman. Well, what's the mailman going to do? Kentavious.
Well, he's got a good track record against Bo Nix. I think Oregon will be able to hang in there. I'm with AY here.
And me.
And you. All on Oregon. I like the way they're built on the offensive lines. I think they'll be able to not necessarily stand or win necessarily, but I think they'll be able to stalemate Georgia on the lines for a little bit. Their linebackers are great, which matches up well against a team that wants to run the ball, right? So they're going to put it on Stetson. Can he deliver? Like you said, Dan. I'm going to say he cannot. I mean, not that he needs to. This is a Georgia team that, isn't flashy. They're not high-flying by any means. And that bodes well for a team like Oregon that's built the way they are, stout along the lines. You saw how they were able to handle business against teams like Ohio State last year with superior talent. If they can muddy it up and be physical, I think and against a team that has lost a ton of talent to the NFL. Not that is going to make a difference, I think, in the outcome of the game, but I think first game for a lot of these starters on Georgia. I like it to stay close. I think they'll score a touchdown late, maybe a late pick six or something like that. To make it a 2-touchdown win. But I think they'll stiff arm them, be up 7 basically most of the way. But
yeah, you pointed out about how well the lines match up on paper, it seems. So glad you brought up about the mailman. Probably have to make a play or two, so I just be turning around and hand the ball off all day.
All right.
He's probably going to be able to do, 7 times this year.
Yeah. No, he'll do what he's done pretty well throughout his career. He has delivered for the most part.
Yeah.
All on Oregon.
Yeah.
All right.
Seems that way. But nobody's gutsy enough to have him winning.
No, nobody's that gutsy.
That would take some gumption.
All right, the other ranked matchup in the 3:30 slot. Now, this is down in what's that?
Yeah, Cincy Arky. This is down in. Hey,
This is down in Little Rock, right?
this is at Razorback Stadium
It is in Little Rock.
or Fayetteville.
Or Fayetteville.
Yeah.
Fayetteville.
It's all right. It's week 1.
It is week. This is interesting. I mean, Cincinnati obviously losing a lot of guys. Nobody's expecting them to be that good this year, or that good meaning as good as they were last year, right?
Right.
And Sam, the Pitt man, had a great year last year, second year, and really some market improvement. I'm excited to see what he does here and in continuing to build. I'm rooting for him, as we all know. We love a Pitt man.
Took the college football world by storm.
Yeah, how are you feeling about this, AY?
They were my darling hogs. Not anymore. They're kind of
They need to burn.
They're a little too good now. But yeah, I want to see what Cincy has. I really like Fickle and what he's built, and looking to sustain there. All in one, I'm not sure what stage they're at. Obviously, they're rebuilding a bit. Not a bit. They're rebuilding a lot, but I want to see what he can do. I think he can keep this ship mostly afloat. If he can, I think that's very impressive. It's a very good job. Could have been an easier start to week 1. They could have scheduled.
Jeez, not kidding. Jeez.
They
could have, went to brought in the team from the Glass Bowl in Toledo or something. But I'm gonna take Arkansas here to cover, but I think Cincinnati shows up, respectable game performance, and loses by 7 to 10 points, and goes on to, I think, respond well to this and build throughout the year to have a solid season.
You are exactly where I'm at. AY now 1, 2, 3, 4 picks in a row with same way. I think they'll be decent, but I think 6 is too little. Drafting a little bit off that respect earned from last year. I got Pittman here winning comfortably. I think I'll go 2 touchdowns, and it'll be basically 10 to 14 points the whole way. I think.
We do not all agree.
Oh,
this line stinks. I think even with the respect earned, having anybody being able to easily access or just watching the NFL draft and seeing the Cincinnati guys go, how do you not make this a double-digit line? It stinks to high heavens. I know that Arkansas lost some skill position players themselves. Having the game as a true home game, I don't know why this isn't Arkansas by at least 10 points. So for that reason and that reason alone, I'm just going to take a swing with Cincinnati. Maybe just play one quarterback this game, Fickle. We don't know if it's going to be Ben Bryant coming back, chronicled his journey in the production meeting. Cincinnati to EMU started, led EMU to a bowl game, back to Cincinnati. What a welcome back opportunity going down to SEC land. So I think Arkansas will still win the game. Maybe it would just be super fun. I don't know.
Could be it.
Surprising shootout. Total in the game is – we do not always have the totals. 52 doesn't necessarily scream fun shootout, but we'll see.
Would love a game like the Pittman had against Alabama last year. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
All right. This one I'm extremely excited about.
Yeah, this is maybe the one I'm most excited for week 1.
I'm not excited to pick it. That's for sure.
Tar headed to Florida. Florida catching 3 in the swamp. This is simple for me. Utah you have all this hype. You want to be legit. You're just like a Western version of NC State.
I don't know. I think that's just a little. I think that's a little.
What do you mean?
For the car. Are you talking about specifically this
Oh,
year?
I don't think it's that disrespectful to the team.
I don't know.
Come on
NC State's never finished in the top 10 in their.
Well,
in
no,
their
I mean a better version, but it's hard.
Yeah, but this iteration, like they're both
Okay,
coming
you're
off
talking
of a
this
pretty good
season.
year.
Okay.
High expectations. Go into Florida against not a good team. A quarterback who's wearing glasses.
We don't know what the Steelers going to be like.
They're not good.
It could be good. I don't know about Florida. It's
No.
They could be better.
Well,
Yeah, but
I could be completely wrong.
brand new
here,
coach.
but
Brand new coach.
I want to see Utah go in there and take care of business
yeah, pass the damn test.
and just move on. So give me Utah winning this game by more than 3. I don't care how you do it. I would like you to do it by 12, 14, whatever, but just win the game and get your season going.
Yeah,
So-
back up your moral victory against Ohio State in the Rose Bowl.
Florida's picked, what, 4th in the SEC East? Come on, Utah.
If they show anything, if they're what they're supposed to be this year, they should win by more than 3. That being said, I'm taking Florida in the upset in the swamp. The Urban Meyer Bowl here. The new coach bump, I think, gets them a couple extra points there for Napier and crew. Yeah, I think they've got the SEC size, obviously. You did see how Utah held up well against a team like Oregon, who was built along the lines well last year. But
they've lost a couple guys to key pieces too, in Devin Lloyd and one quarterback as well. That was the thing I meant to say earlier when you talked about NC State's pretty much bringing to back up that argument.
Right.
Whereas they did lose a couple key pieces on defense. So, and Britton Covey's gone finally. Britton Covey,
Covey is finally gone after.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to take.
Cam's going to go in there and light it up.
Yeah, maybe that could definitely. I could see that happening, but I think Napier gets his tenure off to a good start, and I think the humidity down there in Florida may be a little too much for them. They're used to that thin mountain air.
Could see it.
Be oppressive at the end of summer there. And
definitely could see it.
Gainesville. I will take Billy Napier here to pull off the upset. I'll just take the 3 for now.
We're not keeping track of money lines yet.
Yes.
Otherwise, I would just take every favorite, be it Boar.
Yes. And Dan, where are you at?
No, I'm with AY. Sorry, I'm with AY. Pass the test, Tar.
Pass the test, Tar.
Utah -3. Yep.
Are we going to back my Bees laying 3 against Boise?
Not I. Nope, sorry. The Bachmeier, I confirmed with you guys. I hope you don't lie to me. Bachmeier's still there. That's enough for me, I suppose.
Oregon State let me down last year in their bowl.
Oh my gosh, all time. That might have been my biggest lock of all time when it comes to bowl season against the Tar State Aggies.
Tar State. So
they got hammered.
With that in mind, I'm going Bachmeier as well.
That's fine, yeah.
I'm backing my Bees. So. Show me something week 1.
Yeah.
And last one of non-HT. Florida State, LSU. My favorite quote of the week, Brian Kelly saying, Florida State has an advantage having played a game. We have an advantage not having played a game. Absolutely incredible. Incredibly sorcery words. Just
incredible.
Yep.
So now, what is it? 9 months removed from the circus that was that one day that escalated so quickly. I I'm excited for this game. I'm really fired up for that Florida State LSU game. I
I'm
want Florida
excited
State
for it, too.
to win so badly.
But it's not happening. You know it's not happening. Florida State's ass.
I can't.
Ken is basing this. Let me just interrupt both of you. Sorry. Ken is basing this off of how they looked against Duquesne. That's all I'm saying. If Ken said they would have been asked for 3 years, I would say no rebuttal. But you cannot base what they looked against Duquesne. We've seen it time and time again.
For 3 years. They have been asked for 3 years.
I know, but you didn't say that. You said because of how they looked against Duquesne.
This year.
All right.
They are asked again this
Continue. Sorry, continue.
Yes, I think LSU wins this game by 4 in a gross game. I think
That
LSU
is what Bill also having that. Connolly also.
Florida State is unimpressive.
We'll see, yeah.
Tigers by 4, and it's stupid, but
that is the safest prediction you can make this weekend. I'm not saying it's the safest bet. It is the safest prediction you can make this weekend. Is when
Are you locking it up though?
Oh no, absolutely not. No, that's what I'm saying. It's not the safest bet. It's the safest prediction you can make. There could be no one with backlash if you say that.
That's true.
Yep.
I'm taking BK there. Nice start to his tenure. Florida State has been asked. Maybe for the last 3 years. Maybe for the last week. We don't know. I think Brian Kelly, they needed some discipline there. I think he's the type of coach that can go in there and right the ship. Obviously, LSU's always going to have talent. So I'm interested to see how his first season goes, and I think it'll start off with a win here. I like LSU to have a nice, disciplined win. AY knows how the BK teams are coached. I think it'll be a nice win for them.
He always wins as a favorite. He does not lose when favored.
Yeah.
I think it's been 5 years. I think I saw it was Stanford, 2017.
Oh,
that was
Stanford 2015.
No, it was 2017. That was a game Notre Dame was up like 10 early, and then just got shredded. What time rants? Whatever. But yeah, BK wins as a favorite. He does. Dan, what are you thinking?
Yeah, same thing. Safest prediction you can make this weekend. LSU by 4.
Yep. Okay. All right. We are in.
Thursday night. Let's do it.
Thursday night. Who's up first, me or Ken?
I think you're up first. You were up first.
Okay.
Your game's an hour earlier.
Okay.
Yes.
Previewing the Mountaineers, since I talked about Pitt for 25-ish minutes just a couple of weeks ago. Not much has changed, so all about that. Keaton Slovis expectedly won the quarterback job, so boring camp, which is good. West Virginia. I did not realize, and it brought a little bit of a smile to my face, that Letty Brown is gone.
Letty is gone.
So that is a plus.
He's pretty good. Letty's pretty good.
I do like the Bryce Ford Wheaton. Some of these other guys, when I was looking through their roster, not so much like, oh yeah, I remember that guy, other than Bryce Ford Wheaton. How much of that is Bryce Ford Wheaton's name being so unique? How much is it him wearing 0 or 00?
We may never know.
We may never know. JT Daniels, obviously. I touched on that whenever we were breaking down Pitt's schedule. Definitely an X factor. How often do you have, and I understand you can say the same about Pitt's quarterback, and I will. First game, new season, or new system. He has about as much rust on him as Keaton Slovis does. It's pretty much a wash. I have to say that. So focus on everywhere else. Dante Stills, definitely a big beefcake that I have heard of before. Rest of the defensive names. Not saying they won't be good or can't be good. Not so much. So it'll be interesting to see what type of approach Frank Cignetti takes, whether it's conservative, easing into the game, and potentially just running into a brick wall and Dante Stills and the rest of that defensive line. If Pitt's offensive line, though over-publicized in my opinion of all coming back, and seeing it was such an asset. We'll see what they come up with. Conversely, and here's the big thing. This sounds crazy, but in a game like this, week 1, I have not heard good things about Pitt's punting. And as we saw against Penn State infamously, would you consider that? Yeah, that was the last rivalry game. I mean, if you consider, I guess they played Notre Dame there in 2020, but that was without Kenny Pickett with 400 people at the game, literally. In the last rivalry game at it was Heinz Field, Acrisure Stadium. There was definitely some issues that came into play in the special teams and the punting game, also the holding game, but more so the punting game. So I am a little bit concerned about that. The weather doesn't appear to be a monsoon, which is a plus. So, but it's stuff like that I'm looking at. I think you just have to play the percentages, not to sound like a total dork, but with so many unanswered questions on both Pitt's side and West Virginia's side, I'll take that. I'll take a 10-point win. We'll be on to the game of the year. And I think it's going to be – I think the total is right around 52, like I was pointing out with the Cincinnati Arkansas game. I'll go 31-21 Pitt. Nobody get into a fight, please. I know not all of you will follow that advice, but that's my plea, ultimately. It's a Thursday night. Just, don't show up into work the week before holiday week or the day before holiday weekend with the Black
That's the best day to show up to work.
Because you have this manufactured – I mean, Penn State was very manufactured, at least among people around our age. But this is becoming a bit of a manufactured beef.
Oh, I don't know if it's manufactured.
I don't think I'm part of the manufacturing because I at least went to 4 backyard brawls. And I remember when Pitt beat them to knock them out of the national championship. But I think, these two student bodies right now, I mean, I get that they're not supposed to because they see Barstool accounts, but I'm not, I'm not buying if there's I can't stand West Virginia. I hate them. And you're 19 years old. I
agree.
That's cap, as you guys would say. You 19-year-olds out
wow. There. Wow. Impressive pull there, Dan.
Yeah, I'm all over. I like to be in the know.
What does cap mean?
Cap means poser, basically, I would say is what the or lie, just a lie.
If you're capping is like if you're putting the cap on a bottle and stopping the flow of good stuff. So if you cap, it's like capping.
I didn't even know that much, so Can's even more hip than I am. But
okay, yeah,
So tell somebody that's 19 to say that's cap, and just see what they say. That's it. Pitt by 10. I'm really excited to see just what happens. Obviously, as I think I say more often than not on these previews of my own team. I'm really excited to see what happens. It's my best prognostication, though. There. Thank you.
I will join you on the 10-point win. I think. I've been going back and forth. We're picking it at 7 or 7.5.
7.5, I think.
So I will.
Which is telling.
Yeah, it's gone up, and I think that I'll go along with the public in that direction.
It's a decent indicator, not so much in college football and basketball, but it's still, I think, going into the season at least, when you see and there's really no major news that would lead to that swing. So, yeah.
Hey, why?
You know where I'm going. I got Pitt by.
I can't wait to see where you go next week, and I hope we can get Roth on here for the reaction.
We will phone him in for the back half of the podcast.
Got to. He's threatening to do some sailgating early on. Should be interesting.
Yeah, he's full of ideas. But yeah, I got Pitt here. I get it, you're tossing records out, but with no record, nothing to toss. So
yeah, definitely throw the rankings out. That's for sure.
Throw the rankings out. I think Pitt's D line is just going to eat up West Virginia.
That's the big piece, yeah.
And continue to do that. start the season, but I think they're going to really showcase it Thursday night and just disruption, havoc, chaos, and Pitt wins by 2.5, 3 scores.
Nice.
Nothing to worry about.
All right.
The next one, man. This is freaking what a great Thursday night for me.
Oh my God!
I already have.
And the Biden's address as well as we covered.
Biden's address. I got the iPad
And
ready.
Biden's address.
I got picture in picture.
In the blue state of Pennsylvania.
I'm gonna scoop a 4-piece, and I'm gonna get a pizza. It's an ideal evening. Miles from the capital, the Commonwealth. There'll be a buzz.
Epicenter of college football.
Yep. Thursday night.
Pennsylvania is the epicenter of college football.
It really is the focal point. Yeah.
And I'm at the epicenter of the. I'm in the middle of it. So bring it on.
The epicenter of the epicenter. Wow.
Purdue hosting Penn State. Kent will be there at Ross Aid.
Boots on the ground.
Take it away.
We're picking this game at 3.5.
Yes.
To the Purdue Keys.
Speaking of the line creeping up. Or back up, right?
Would it open at 4? For the most part. It's been about at 3.5 for the most
part. Talk about line going up. We'll get to the next game, but
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I love this matchup for Penn State. If you're a Penn State fan, you hate going on the road. It's like 11 or 12 years out of 13 that they've started the Big Ten play on the road, which is a quibble that James and Pat Kraft have made clear at the league offices, but. Irregardless, I think this is a great matchup for them. From a defensive perspective, you got a team that will pass the ball a lot, so it's going up against Penn State's strengths. Secondary, one of the deepest groups that they've got on the team. I would argue the deepest, despite losing a couple of great picks in Jaquan Brisker and Tariq Castro-Fields, but they bring back a lot of young talent. I'm really excited to see Zakeem Wheatley come in there, step in there at the other safety spot opposite Jerry Brown. I think both of them will have a great day against Purdue. I'm actually predicting an interception for each.
Whoa, next level.
Yes, I'm excited.
Check your prop bets. Check your prop bets.
So one for each of those safeties. I'm really excited. I think Penn State, with their lack of linebacker depth, if you look back to the preview, this is a good matchup for them again. Elgin will be making his first career start. He won the job over Kobe King, but I think both will be playing opposite Curtis.
Enos.
What's that?
Curtis Enos.
Yes. Curtis, yes. With the defensive line being able to create pressure, Purdue's had a couple of guys that have been injured, and they continue to lose guys. They lost their tight end, who may be their best NFL prospect at tight end for the year. He tore his ACL. And then their number one receiver, who they really liked, he's academically ineligible, as well as another couple of guys. Another guy that they were expecting for the year. I think he's been out. So receivers, not the strongest group, but they bring in 2 Iowa transfers, and Tracy and then Charlie Jones, who was the Big Ten returner of the year. He should be an X factor. But I think they'll be able to get some plays, the quick offense and the quick strike, as far as getting the ball out of Aiden O'Connell's hands. But I think as the game wears on, Penn State's defensive line is really going to make their presence felt. And key will be if Penn State can get up a little bit and force Aiden O'Connell to make a couple of riskier throws that play right into the hands of Penn State's secondary. I really think that will happen, and I'm really excited to see what this defensive line will do. I don't think I've been this excited about the defensive line in a long time. Probably since like 08-09 seasons, right? When they had Audric and Mo Evans and Maben. A lot of great talent there on the defensive line. I don't think we've seen the abundance of it there on the defensive line this year that we've got since then. Offensively speaking, I'll be going over against a secondary that's been banged up, as well as defensive line that's banged up. Defensive line for Purdue is probably their strongest and most deep group, but they've lost a guy that was probably their number 3 guy. It sounds like he'll be out, and they're in so much trouble. It seems like they'll be starting a Penn State transfer actually, who The name is escaping me at this moment. He's from Carmel. He's from Carmel, Indiana. But he
I do remember
transferred.
you asking about him, but I don't remember his name.
Yes. I'm blanking on the name now, but it seems like he'll get some
I'm on it.
there.
I'm on it.
Yeah. Brevard, Cole Brevard, transferring from Penn State.
Poor job.
Got a nice landing spot. The defense of secondary is what I think will be very interesting to keep an eye on because I think all four of the starters at one point or another were sidelined during preseason. I think two of the guys even just started practicing about 2 weeks ago. And, are they up to game speed? Are they, more importantly, are they up to tackling? I think there'll be a time or two where they may be put on an island against maybe a receiver or one of Penn State's great backs and need to make a one-on-one tackle, and you got to see if they'll be able to do it. Obviously, all teams, that's a big point of concern with the first game of the year, right? But I think especially with a secondary that hasn't had a full camp will be something to keep an eye on. I expect at least one big play from Penn State this week. And I think you'll see a decent game, a clean game from Clifford. I'm excited to see what the run game will look like against Purdue. I think they should be able to get something going here. It's something that they will absolutely try to emphasize, especially with all the
Get
time.
those long boys going.
Get those Lombos going, yes. Eating up that. All this to say, I do think there will be a mistake made by Aiden at some point, and I think Penn State will win here handily. I like them winning by 17, 34-17.
Setting the tone.
And I'm locking it up.
Oh,
yeah.
can a bit of a glutton. We'll see what happens.
I
do think it's a knuckleball of a game to pick. Not, that dissimilar to most of the slate. I do think, obviously, a big theme of my year is the hunt for Sean Clifford validation.
And Red October.
But I do, I think Purdue has certainly been Wonder Brom, but it's a little bit overinflated.
It's just based on their wins over number 2 teams.
Exactly, yeah. There's been
Which Penn State is not a number 2 team.
Right. It's been, there's been some low points as well. I'll say this will maybe be one of the lower points.
Ooh.
I'm just kidding. It's not going to be a low point if they lose to Penn State, but I do think they'll lose. We will be arm in arm. I will say Penn State also wins by 10 points. 3 touchdowns for Clifford also.
Ooh.
Two through the air, 1 on the ground. There you go. Speaking of prop beats.
And propping.
Yep. Prop it up with that.
We're all on Penn State here. A few weeks ago, I thought coming into this season, State was going to drop one of the 2 trickier road tilts. I guess the 2 road tilts in September. And I think matchup-wise, the Auburn game is tougher for Penn State.
Be a tank and that other running back might shred him.
They just do the run game. I'm going to say I thought they'd lose one of the 2, so foreshadowing. I think they'll lose to Auburn as of now. But, hey, that's ways away. I think they take down Purdue. This Aiden O'Connell stuff, is he
overrated? Is he overrated?
Yeah, this guy, when I read...
I thought you liked him, AY.
I don't mind him, but because I think he's kind of funny.
People love him. People love him.
Because, like, if you look, I was looking a few weeks ago, they were talking about him as the second best quarterback in the Big Ten. I'm thinking, what the hell?
I mean, it's not a very deep Big Ten.
And then I realized it's not deep, but I just circle back to last year, the Notre Dame game when he was benched effectively for Jack Plummer, who's now sent
Jack the
away.
Snack.
Jack the Snack, who's going elsewhere.
Look at the game logs, and since the Notre Dame game, O'Connell really did crank it up, and highlighted by a big bowl game. But yeah, I mean, with Karlaftis and Bell, like we highlighted a few weeks ago, and Ken just mentioning all these guys out, the tight end, losing some D-line depth. which isn't big. But I mean, even a receiver, I don't think they have much to begin with. I like Penn State here, and not as efficient game as what Cam's thinking here, but it could be. But Penn State by 7-10.
Yeah, I think you have some nervous moments, Cam.
Maybe
Yeah.
you might even slow start, sweat it till mid third. But
The boards get fired up about Clifford already.
Oh, Aller! Everybody needs Aller in.
I think late
The
third is
backup, right?
when,
The recently minted back.
Recently minted number 2.
Yeah, I think late third we know that Penn State is in control. So
Before we continue, why do I keep looking up at the Roffer scoreline as if there's any chance that he loses to Rinky?
How about that Chinese guy winning today?
Well, yesterday,
Oh, yesterday, yeah.
I stopped
The
looking.
the guy that other Chinese man.
You almost said Chinaman.
Yeah. Who I happen to may or may not have backed. 7 match points he blew in the third set, up 2-0.
Yeah, I'm
And
still
goes on to
about
lose
that.
in 5 sets. Complete choke job.
That's still
So
pissing me
that's
off.
disappointing. But yeah, you're right. I think Wu is the other guy. Apparently, these are the only Chinese guys to make the main draw ever, which seems
Yeah,
very,
it's
very
the
wrong.
first match they won in a major in like 63 years.
Yeah, which seems incredibly wrong. But I guess somebody fact check.
Especially with the success of the women.
Yeah, women's got multiple major champions, I believe. Did you guys lose me?
No, I don't know. Where'd you go?
Oh, we lost AY, it looks like.
Oh, AY. AY a little frozen.
So froze.
So frozen.
Which is terrible timing because he's about to talk about Notre Dame.
Terrible.
There he is. He's coming
There
back.
he's
it looks
back.
like.
He's back.
He's trying to come back. I wonder if he didn't plug in the laptop or something. I feel like his screen would be gone by now. Oh, there it is. We may have to improvise here.
Uh-oh.
Or just get ready to order some.
What are your thoughts on this? This is the game of the week. Obviously, it's big time. Big time.
Big enough that I'm paying what I'm paying to go to it. I won't disclose publicly. It's about as good as it gets. Like, that's just for a week 1 game. You get the home crowd, true home crowd.
Yep.
You've got teams that have multiple playoff participations.
Yep.
He was trying to come back. You've got the former player coaching his alma mater. I'm cutting my own promo for your game, AY. So let me just roll through the last 5 seconds of this.
Yeah.
But you also have some intrigue in that
Well, the one
Notre
coach.
Dame's going to Notre Dame's going to have questions to answer. So it's not the pure clash of the Titans this year.
It's the first technical game, right? I mean, I guess the bowl game counted as his first game, right?
Yeah, but he was technically the interim, right?
Exactly.
Or no, was he technically promoted to head coach though by that point? I don't remember.
We don't know. When was
Freeman
the timeline? When was he announced as the coach, anyway?
Before or after the bowl game?
Before the bowl game.
Okay.
So maybe he was. He did the.
Yeah. But this is his first. He went through the camp. It's his first game as.
At that point, yeah, it's just semantic.
Right.
It is a 3 or 4 level or layer bake of intrigue, and you don't see those very often. Very, very rarely week 1. Like, I'm talking, you got Florida State, Alabama is the only one I can think of off the top of my head. But even that was at a neutral site. So I would give the edge to this game because it's at least at one of the 2 team stadiums.
Yeah, I mean, I know this game is obviously super hyped up and everything, but I think next year's game will be the one that like we want to see. Just because Ohio State won't be as good. So this year will be obviously difficult. We set the stage and everything. I mean, it's gonna be tough. Notre Dame has played these regular season games against high quality opponents very well. When we get to the playoff neutral site, different story. I get that. But the regular season games, the Georgia games, the Clemson games, it's really the only marquee game they've had the last 5 years.
Florida State. I guess that's 7 years ago now.
The last 10 years, when Florida State was great, when Stanford was top 10, they always played. These regular season games were always very good games. I think the only real, aside from the Florida State, they had a good offense. But like, even the last two, Georgia, their offense never scared you. This is Ohio State. This is the offense that is the cream of the crop in college football this year. This is C.J. Stroud, Trevor Henderson, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Martin Harrison Jr. Will we see a Fleming sighting? Who knows? Doesn't matter. No. This is arguably the best O-line in the country. This is a D-line who's, from everything I've heard, is just eating in camp. So it's going to be tough. I think Notre Dame's defense is, the front seven is for sure up to the task, but I mean, you can only be up to a task so much against such a high-powered offense, and the back four. Cam Hart being hurt, supposed to be back, but I just think the passing attack, how that is the root of their amazingness. I mean, no, Henderson's awesome too, but there's going to be a lot of big plays. Notre Dame run the ball. Try and control the clock as much as you can. Logan Diggs will be back. We'll see. That will be huge. Tyree's not built for 25 carries. Audric Estime, get him the rock. Buckner, scramble, keep plays alive. Get creative. Mayer, when in doubt. Hopefully Mayer draws two defenders. Tell the receivers out, we think. But Dan, I know you were gone, but I don't know if you heard. I'm wrestling with the Notre Dame's been really good in these marquee regular season games. Not really good, but they've showed up. They've showed up with the Georgias, Clemson, the last 7-10 years, the Florida State, Stanford's.
Yep.
Even like the Sam Darnold USC. The only one that didn't show up was the monsoon game against
NC
Michigan.
State. Oh, that monsoon. They also played in the monsoon against NC State.
But the Michigan beatdown was bad. Oh, and Miami.
Miami, I joked. Yes, I joked earlier. Yes.
But
that would be the one that comes to mind in the regular season.
For the most part, they've showed up, but the bowl games not so much.
Because even that Michigan game, they definitely got their asses kicked, but I feel like that didn't come unraveled until what, third quarter, sometime, maybe even fourth. Yeah, felt a little bit more crock-potty. Certainly, the Miami game was over 9:30.
Yeah, the first drive with Notre Dame, they had to overthrow the end zone.
Yeah.
Should have scored a touchdown there.
But that Notre Dame team probably wasn't as good as that was 2019 or 2018 team that had the Michigan soilage.
That was the 18, yeah.
Yeah.
Or was it 19? 19. I still think the 15 team was the best, but that's all over the place. So I think it's going to be tough. Obviously, 17 and a half. Week one optimism wants me to go Notre Dame. I think it could. I can see a path where a 20-point loss isn't gross. So I'm gonna ride with that.
Oh wow! Well, I'm picking. I'm with all our teams. I'm starting off the year on the right foot.
I'm gonna ride like a 40. How does that work? 21. Not just 50 touchdowns. We're not gonna hold them down. Yeah, 20-point loss. But I think it's. I'm just gonna. Optimism says respectable 20-point loss, if there is such a thing.
I mean, the thing to keep in mind is that Notre Dame is built like, the teams should be like an Oregon team or a team that has significant or has had success against Ohio State, right? And so I think they'll be able to keep it close for a while. And 17.5 is a ton of points, right?
It is. But I do think there's going to be some big plays.
I do too. And with that, I think it'll be a 42-21.
Yeah.
I will go 31-17 Buckeyes.
So AY and me again teaming up.
Yep.
I would sign up for 31-17.
Yeah, I think you might be.
I
Get
mean,
that
yeah,
pen
Notre Dame's both lines, I think, can hold their own.
Well, I would certainly hope that you're not shaking your boots over the Ohio State. They've got some proving a point to prove.
Notre Dame's D line, I feel really good about. The linebacker core I feel really good about. It's just the back end when they go 4 wide. Stroud gets time.
And to be clear, I can't talk that shit about Ohio State's defense or defensive line if my team was playing them. But I can say that on Notre Dame's behalf because they've actually got the beef.
We'll see. I'm fired up though. I'm excited.
Yep.
Let's close it out here with lock of the week.
Oh yeah.
You guys are on the board. Ken, you mentioned earlier Penn State.
Yeah,
Ken.
Ken.
3.5.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dan, yours on the board. What do you got?
Yeah, Army plus 2.5. Let's check and see if it's up to date. I think they play at Coastal Carolina. You guys gonna give me the 2.5? I mean, I'm just checking to see if it went up to 3.
Yeah,
Is the reason I'm checking.
You put it on there 2.5, so that works for me.
Yeah, a lot coming back, including Jacoby Buchanan, I believe is his name, from Army, who is quite the sight to see. And he is the dive back in Army's option offense. Do replace the quarterback, but how much does that really matter? We'll just go with 2.5. I'll just say that. Night game, Conway, I think Coastal could be one of those teams where they're like still riding the reputation, even though it's coming down a little bit. They have Grayson McCall back, but not so much else from the teams that were certainly great stories the last couple of seasons. So I think Army smacks them in the mouth. They've got – let me just get that production for you folks. Cannot find it. Anyway, any returning production that may be missing from Army is because their quarterback ran so much. Don't worry about it. Plug and play
Plug and play.
in that system.
All right, I am going with the Aztecs.
Thought about it?
Yeah, laying 6.
Sorry,
against,
Jed.
Against Arizona, who's I think clearly the worst team in the Pac-12. Has insane non-con. Won't win more than 2 games this year. And Aztecs, new stadium, 6-1 in the Mountain West. Good conference. I don't see why the third team in the Mountain West is only a 6-point favorite over the last place team in the Pac-12 when I don't think there's really a ton of difference, especially San Diego State would finish better in the Pac-12 than Arizona would.
I did catch wind that Braxton Burmeister is the starting quarterback for San Diego State.
He's got some legs.
So
Can't
definitely
throw for a lick.
double cover coming for the Ass Technicians.
Yep, I'm going SDSU. Laying 6, we got Army and Penn State. We have week 1 of the books. We'll be back next week with week 2. Fired up. Game of the Year preview. Bring on a special guest. Still getting Roth. Hopefully, we're combined 3-0. If not, we'll take it 2-1. Sorry, Cam. What if Notre Dame wins?
Oh man, that would be something. I don't know how I'm going to know if that's the case. I'll definitely be happy if Notre Dame wins. I don't really care who wins the game, to be perfectly honest.
But that would be great for the storylines.
Yeah.
Great drama.
I think I'm wearing, by the way, I always try and do. I really wish, I'm totally regretting not getting. Maybe I could still get one rushed. The Rob Lowe NCAA hat.
Yes, yes.
I would love to take a picture, but I do have a navy blue undershirt and a gray quarter zip picked out for my attire.
There you go.
Because I pride myself on finding a neutral color scheme to wear to games, but that I don't really care who wins, but it will be nice to be at.
Yeah.
Well, you too. Enjoy your games. Fired up. Let's go over Thursday, and then we'll go from there. For me, AY, People State Capital, the Blue State, Commonwealth, Pennsylvania, to my west, D-Berg.
Good night, all.
And Cam, please.
Week 1 is upon us.
Yes, it is. Have fun, you guys. We will see you next week for Week 2 preview. Thanks for listening. Have a good one.